If we go back 50 years during the emergence of Bangladesh, did you see inspiration in the vision of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman as a fellow post-colonial leader driving Bangladesh towards independence and rising as a sovereign nation? How did you perceive him? Tun Dr. Mahathir, it is a rare privilege to speak to a statesman who has not only shaped Malaysia but stood tall as a voice for the global South. In nearly a century of life and leadership, you have witnessed empires fall, nations rise, and the rules of power rewritten. How do you reflect on this journey?
Well, I've been fortunate in that I don't have to deal with any violence. There was some opposition against me, but I was able to win in an a referendum made to see who is supported by the people. So, although the losing party formed another party to contest against me, but they failed, and eventually they rejoined my party. So, in that sense, I've been very fortunate because the opposition has never been strong, and in the end, they realized that there is no future for them, and the only way they can participate in Malaysian politics is by joining the government.
And you returned to power in your 90s, reshaped Malaysian politics again. What inspired you to come back? What legacy do you hope to leave for your next generation?
Well, I'm not talking about my legacy. That is for other people to decide whether I have done any good or not. I tried my best as a prime minister to carry out the work of a prime minister, meaning to say, I try to serve the people. If the people appreciate, that is their right. If they don't appreciate, that is also their right.
You have often spoken out against war and imperialism, with more wars active now than any point in the history since Second World War. What is your message to the today's global leaders who resort to militarism over a dialogue?
War doesn't solve any problem. It creates problem. In war, people are killed, countries are destroyed. It is better for us to solve problem through negotiation, arbitration, or a court of law. When you do that, then nobody gets killed and the country will not be destroyed. What we are seeing today is the war between Russia and Ukraine. And Ukraine is left to fight the war by itself. And Ukraine has been destroyed completely. And thousands of Ukrainian people have been killed. Millions have had to emigrate to other countries, and the damage has been very extensive. Ukraine cannot be rebuilt easily. So war is very destructive. We should not solve problem through war. We should negotiate and find a peaceful way of overcoming our differences.
Your leadership helped Malaysia navigate the realities of a multi ethnic, multi religious society, yet emerge as a model for developing nations. What was the guiding principle or philosophy that you followed that maintained the balance between tradition, faith, and yet modernity?
Well, basically, it is Islamic teachings. For the Quran tells us that there are people of other faiths and they pray in their way, we pray in our way. And we have to be tolerant of them. So in Malaysia, there are three different races. Majority are Muslims, 60% over, and the rest were Hindus, Buddhists, and Christians. So we adopt an attitude of tolerance towards them. They have their own religion, we have our religion, and we work together for the good of the country.
If we go back 50 years during the emergence of Bangladesh, did you see inspiration in the vision of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman as a fellow post colonial leader driving Bangladesh towards independence and rising as a sovereign nation? How did you perceive him?
Well, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was the leader at the time when Eastern Pakistan decided to leave Pakistan and set up the new country called Bangladesh. For that, I think Bangladeshis ought to be very grateful. Later on, uh, his daughter, he himself was assassinated. His daughter became prime minister. She was the daughter of Sheikh Mujibur, a national hero of Bangladesh.
So, in the last 15 years, when she was in power, Bangladesh has undergone like a remarkable transformation from poverty and instability to a regional economic leadership. From your vantage point, some people think that she was following your path. How do you interpret this momentum she was following and later facing deep political divisions in Bangladesh?
There are accusation against her that she was very oppressive. During her time, Bangladesh made a lot of progress. In fact, the economy was doing quite well. So, in the end, she was forced to flee the country to go to India because she could not stay in Bangladesh anymore.
You have met Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina on several occasions. What's your impression of her leadership style? Like, have you ever discussed governance, religious issues, or reform with her?
Well, when I met her, she was certainly concerned about the progress of Bangladesh.
So, the last 1 year, Tun Dr. Mahathir, Bangladesh is also still facing deep political divisions and growing mistrust in its democracy. From your experience, what risks do you see when this kind of instability is influenced by outside powers like the West?
Well, from my experience, when people are not show signs of losing their support for me, I have to uh, have a kind of referendum to let the people make a decision whether I should go on or not. And this was done in Malaysia, and in the referendum, I won. I won with a small majority, but I still won, and therefore I had a right to continue as prime minister.
In many developing nations, corruption, bureaucracy, and if inefficiency, they're like plague. The countries suffer from them. What strategies did you find most effective in maintaining like the public trust while reforming the institutions?
Well, as a leader, I have to be uh, aware of the feelings of the people. What do they want? And if we try to give them what they want, then I think they will continue. They will to support you. So I gain support because I serve the people. As a leader, you have always to serve the people. If you don't serve the people, then the people will not support you anymore.
So I would like to focus on the global south a little bit in this part of the interview. As part of Malaysia and overall global south, Bangladesh, Pakistan, we notice religious conservatism and populism are rising. Do you see parallels in this shift, and how did Malaysia navigate through these challenges?
Well, we are a majority Muslim country, but we are tolerant. As I said before, our religion tells us that there are people of different faith, and we have to be tolerant. I think that is something that some Muslims do not practice. They do not follow the teachings of the Quran, the teachings of Islam, to be tolerant of people of other faiths. There, we will not use force to make people embrace Islam. They have their own religion, we have our own religion, and if we are tolerant, we can actually work together for the good of the country.
You have long championed the Muslim unity and the South-South cooperation. How can Malaysia and a country like Bangladesh work together to amplify their voices globally, especially on the issues like, let's say, Palestine and climate justice?
Well, Islam teaches us that all Muslims are brothers. So if anything happened to any Muslim, all the other Muslims must take some action to protect those who are being oppressed. Now we have this genocide in Gaza. Actually, all the Muslim people in the world, 1.4 billion people who are Muslim, should unite as brothers and help the people of Gaza. But we do not show that unity. Instead, some are working, actually having relation with Israel, and actually asking Hamas to be disarmed. Where we in Malaysia, we feel that Hamas cannot disarm until Israel withdraws their troops from Gaza. But that is our stand. So the stand of Muslim countries are not the same. They don't show unity. They don't show the brotherhood of Islam. And that is why today all Muslims everywhere are being oppressed.
Developed countries are delaying the climate action while nations like Bangladesh, even Malaysia, or any third world countries, they suffer flood, displacement, and rising seas. Issues like Rohingya, like the people like who has no place to go to.
Well, Muslim people have got to blame themselves. The Quran tells us that we must be prepared to secure the safety of the Muslim people. During the time of the Prophet, they were able to protect the Muslim Ummah. But later on, because they were behind in terms of weapons and the like, they have become very weak. And as weak people, we are not able to protect the Muslim Ummah. That means we are not able to follow the instruction, the injunction of Islam that Muslim must be able to protect their own people. So because we fail, then we are suffering. If we had become very strong as during the time of the Ottomans, when the Turkey was a very powerful country, nobody can oppress Muslim. But today, because there are no Muslim big power, we are being oppressed because we have not fulfilled the injunction of Islam that we must be prepared to protect and secure the safety of the Muslim Ummah.
You have written, governed, and returned to power. Like, what inner strength guided you? How did you manage to come back and lead the country towards the right direction?
Well, of course, I've been Prime Minister for too long. I decided to resign after 22 years, and I hope that my successors will continue the work of developing Malaysia. Unfortunately, they did not. They changed the policies and the direction of the country, and we were not progressing towards becoming a developed country. And many people came to see me asking me to do something. So I had to return to politics and participate in the election. I happened to win, and the opposition decided to make me the prime minister. So during that period, I tried to correct all the wrong deeds of the previous government.
In the era of artificial intelligence, automation, and cultural shifts, how can nations like Bangladesh or Malaysia, global south, can embrace innovation while preserving their identity, their faith, their culture, and social cohesion?
Well, technology is progressing very fast. It is incumbent upon Muslims to keep up with the new technology. They shouldn't be like now when Muslim countries are very far behind in terms of technology, and therefore we are not able to benefit from the advances made with technology. We need to acquire all the knowledge and skills in terms of new technologies so that we can benefit from application of the new technologies.
Tun Dr. Mahathir, thank you deeply for your time, your insights, and your lifelong commitment to justice and sovereignty. It has been an honor to learn from your experience and wisdom. We hope your voice continues to inspire the global south and future generations. Thank you.